Some artists they usually have a couple of songs that function as the cornerstones or the foundation for a record. Were there in the process of making Happiness Is, were there a couple of songs that you started out with from which you developed the album further?
I hadn't really thought about it. There probably were, but I don't think we were conscious of them being cornerstones of the record, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like maybe Flicker Fade was like that. It seemed like it was kind of...
That was the first one that really came together.
Yeah.
And then, but I don't think it really, like, helped to shape the sound of the other songs, though.
Yeah, that's true.
What was the process like then? Which song did you start on? The first one, very first one?
Well, yeah.
That was probably Aaron.
Was Flicker Fade, yeah. Was the, which is actually the first song off the record, but that's the first one that really came together to where we thought, all right, we're on to something. Let's go finish this record. So.
Yeah.
Can you, it might be difficult, but can you explain what this something was that you were looking for?
I don't know, like there was, like it, when we would listen back to the demos of it, it sounded like it's a song that had already been around. Like it, to me, yeah, like it just sounded like it was something that that had always existed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And yeah, and that's how we knew.
Okay. Well, I also read that for this album, Adam, you've been more honest in your writing and more direct.
Yes.
Can you explain why?
Well, I think it might have to do like a lot just with like what we listened to, you know, like I started to really appreciate other songs and songwriters to where they can just be just very blunt, you know, and just put kind of real big ideas in a very simple way. So I just wanted to see if I was any good at that.
Can you give me an example of something that you thought, well, this is great how he does it, and that you took with you?
Oh, well, like, or like I think about any Tom Petty song that you've ever heard, you know, like he's just so simple, you know exactly what he's talking about, and like the feeling and the heart's always there, you know. So I like think it would just come from stuff like that.
Well, were things that were going on in your life also an influence on the writing? Because I believe you were about to become a father at the time of the writing. Did that influence the album at all?
Yes and no. There's like for instance on this record, there's like the closest we've ever come to writing a love song on here. It's called Like You Do, and so I guess yeah, like I was influenced in that way to where I felt, to where we finally felt
lovey-dovey.
Yeah, and comfortable, you know, talking about that.
Yeah. Was it a big step then to write a love song, so to say?
It wasn't really a conscious thing until after it like had happened, you know, like it just happened, and then kind of like we took a step back, like, oh man, I think we wrote a love song.
Do you remember what the inspiration was?
The inspiration for the song?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was my pretty lady wife. Was the inspiration for that song.
And so I assume usually when you write songs, they're based on autobiographical events?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, there's most all the time, and so.
Okay. Well, the title is Happiness Is. At what point in the process did this title come up?
It wasn't actually until very late in the process. That
it was probably one of the last things, I think.
Yeah, because I always, excuse me. Because we were waiting until all the songs were finished to where we could listen to them as a whole, to name it. So yeah, it was one of the last things to.
So what was the first thought that popped into your mind when you listened to it as a whole?
I just felt very proud of us. like I know that might sound silly, but I was yeah, I think that the record flows really good, and I just think the songs are really cool. And then so I was just happy to be a part of it, you know.
And where did the title come from then? The Happiness Is?
Man, it just kind of happened, just like everything else, you know. Like it just appeared one day.
Well, would you say then that the songs on the record, that they are the best songs you had at that point, or that they fitted best together?
I think they're our best songs to date, and it works out pretty cool because they also fit together really well.
Was this something you were looking for beforehand? When you have this idea about making an album, do you think about them flowing together?
Oh, well...
It seemed like we kind of thought about it more after all the songs were written. We didn't really think about it during the process. We spent a lot of time trying to sequence the album after it was recorded. And then we also we cut some songs, and it did feel like they weren't cut because of the quality of the song. It was more because once you listen to them all together, certain ones kind of just seemed like it just didn't fit or something, you know? So yeah, but that was at the very end after everything was recorded. We weren't very conscious of it while we were writing and recording.
And well, I read something also that you approach the process of making an album as two adventures. The first is the actual making of the album. The second is the reaction. So does this play a part in the writing process, the potential reaction from people?
Oh, it's something we try to keep in the back of our minds, you know, because I think it's really hard to make something if you're worried about what other people might think of it as you're making it. And it's often difficult to not have that rattling around in your brain.
Well, for instance, to take the first love song, as you say, did it cross your mind, well, maybe people won't like this?
Yeah. After it was done, though, you know, and then, it's always kind of, that worry really comes up kind of like right when the thing is finished, you know?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Once it's done is when you start questioning everything.
Yeah.
Is it difficult then to deal with all those questions that you have for yourself? Like Flicker and Flate, I believe you played it in 2013 at the end. Is this, for instance, something to try it out and see what the reaction is?
Yeah, it's a little bit of that, but then it's also we just really want to play it and have people hear it because we're proud of it.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm out of time, so thank you very much.
Oh yeah, thanks, man.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.